Professor John Sterman still teaches the content of the book at the MIT today. What did the limits to growth really say?
So what we have here is a very simple qualitative diagram showing the limits to growth concepts. Over here, we have population, which grows exponentially unless restrained, unless people reduce their fertility. And here's the growth of the economy, which also grows exponentially. All that growth is happening in the context of a finite planet.
Important parts of the global system are basically structured to give exponential growth. Population and industrial growth are inherently exponential. It's not an accident that they show this explosive growth pattern. That's built into the nature of the systems.
When we approach the limits of the Earth, we will not basically move towards those limits and then smoothly fit in the world population and activity under the carrying capacity of the planet. We will, because of decision delays, shoot through the sustainable level and then move into unsustainable territory from which there is only one way back, either organized reduction, managed decline, or nature takes over and forces us down back to sustainable territory.
Obviously, if there are a lot of harmful side effects of our technologies, if there are long delays in the response of the social and technical system to scarcity, if the price system, if markets don't work effectively, we're in trouble. But the real lesson of limits to growth is that even if all of those things work, it still doesn't solve the problem as long as everybody wants more.
The Limits to Growth was a huge success worldwide. It was translated into more than 30 languages and sold more than 10 million copies. And the warning from the book soon began to spark huge public discussion.
If you don't have the idea that growth is desirable and possible, you don't have economics. And so as soon as the book came out, all the economists were just outraged. The first major criticism came out just a few weeks after The Limits to Growth. It appeared in the New York Times Book Review.
A whole page, first page. And it was written by 3 macroeconomists who were the forerunners of 30 years or 40 years of criticism of limits to growth. It's continuing to this day. You know, most classical macroeconomists thinks this is a piece of shit.
A projection for disaster. And this is so typical of the time. Here's an article entitled Starvation Spectre. World's Future. Faith or suicide? It brings back the feelings of that time. It's like, guys, you're not getting our message. If we had 30 days to save the world, would we act before the 29th? Now that one actually got the message. We're dealing with dynamic systems with long time constants. Don't try to do it on the 29th day. Do it on the first or second day, and don't waste the first, second, third, and all the way to the 26th day talking about whether or not the science says we should.